Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for tuning in. I want to talk to you this morning about a topic that is very sensitive and also a topic that I dealt with, and that is domestic violence. And domestic violence is very hard to talk about. And a lot of people may ask, well, why did you stay in it? Well, didn't you see the signs? Didn't you realize? And I'm going to tell you, yes, there are little signs that you see, but sometimes you are so far in it that it just becomes a part of your life and you just get used to it. Even though you may tell a person and try to get help for them, I was under the guise, and I'm telling the truth, I was praying, like he asked me to do. He said, just keep praying that I change. Keep praying that things get different, that things get better. Because, see, I had changed. I had stopped yelling at him and arguing with him and going back and forth with him. When he said something or did something, for every action, there's a reaction. Okay? But it don't have to be a negative reaction. It could be a positive one. So that's when I learned how to be quiet and how to meditate and meditate to the spirits who went to God on my behalf, and learning about African spirituality. And then I realized that I was in a violent marriage. I was in an abusive marriage, and my husband was very, very abusive towards me. I don't even think he liked me. I mean, I don't know, I don't know how he felt, because he never showed it. I didn't even want to get on here to talk about that. I really didn't. I'm trying to help somebody, but I realized this morning as I'm meditating that by me talking about this will help someone else realize that what you are in is the same situation I was in. You may not be physically beaten, but you're being emotionally beaten and financially beaten, and you need to get out of it. See, towards the end, he stopped helping out with bills and everything. He started taking his money and keeping it for himself. He said it was his. And what could I say? He worked for it. It was his. If he didn't want to have to pay no bills, he didn't have to, I guess. But then he left. And I'm gonna tell you, when somebody sit there and tell you, and I'm gonna warn you that this conversation may not be for children. So I want you to go ahead and you can turn it off and listen to it later. This conversation is not for children. But I want to let you know what I dealt with and how I got out and how I can understand. In the end of the movie, and I'm gonna tell you something, my son is in this movie. He was one of the sons in the Tina Turner movie. He was the one that wore the black and white sweater with the big eyes. That was my son. But anyway, this movie, I can relate to this because that's exactly how I felt in the end. When Tina Turner said in the end, I just want to leave with my name. Just give me my name. That's all I asked for. Really, my name. And I got to have my 2750 I put down on the truck, because he took that too. He took my truck, and so I got to have that money back. But besides that, I don't want no spousal support. I don't want anything. I just want my name, my peace of mind. Because see, where I'm at now, I'm in a safe house. It's peaceful, it's quiet, and I just love it. I can create. Over there, I could create because I had to block him out. But over here, I don't have to block anything out. It's just peaceful where I'm at. Okay, so I want to tell you this. When there was no love there, he didn't show me any love, no type of love. When he got ready to have sex, he just tell me, come here, I need a nut, and so I would come. And then he would tell me, turn around because I don't want to look at you, and so I had to turn around. It was real bad, and he tried to, towards the end, when I had changed, I really turned it over to God and began the Grow program in August. So that was August 29th. That was when the first Grow video was made on YouTube. Now it's a podcast, a website, www.growprogram.org, and all this came from learning about African spirituality and changing me, and once I changed me, then I began to see that I didn't have anything. Okay. He came in the house one day, and I had really, I kept the house clean, kept it spotless, and he told me, he said, Jack, he said, you can write a book on how to take care of a husband. But he wasn't that husband. He wasn't the one. He come in and he said, what's that smell? And it wasn't no smell. The house is clean, spotless. And but when he left this last time, because I told you he leave every 2 weeks, take his clothes right when it's time to get paid. I went through all this with the gambling. He had to quit gambling because of the coronavirus. I talked about that on the video also, but I went through that, and then he would gamble his money, then look at me, for the bill money. But that coronavirus that stopped, he stopped that. But he was abusive. He would say things. He would tell me, that trying to tear down my self-esteem, tell me I'm fat. You'll be all right when you lose that stomach. You that stomach in the way. That it's too much. I can't do the stomach. Just constantly and telling me putting on different wigs. I don't like this wig on you. I don't like that wig on you. No, don't wear no makeup. I don't want you to wear no makeup. So now, he like for me to wear wigs. He don't like for me to wear my own hair. So when I go around him, I wear my own hair. I try to wear it as wild as I can. I try to put the stuff in and make it go crazy. And then I put my makeup on and it looks beautiful. I got some pictures on Facebook. I don't really do Facebook, but I'm trying to tell people about the Grow program. So I have to, and then I'm showing them, be beautiful, be yourself. Come out from under them weaves, wigs, and ponytails and show the beautiful real you. So I go over there. There's a spiritual demon I'm dealing with. So I have to put my war paint on just like they do when they go to battle. I'm going to battle these demons. So I put my war paint on. That's my makeup, and it looks beautiful. And then, when we used to go to the store, I couldn't buy my own clothes. I couldn't buy what I wanted to wear. He went to the women's department with me and he bought me what he wanted me to wear, but see, people, look, this is what I'm telling you. You don't even realize what's going on because see, you in there and you trying to please your spouse. This is what you've been taught. You supposed to be pleasing. You're supposed to please your spouse. Who else you going to please? You have to please your spouse. And when things go wrong, the church tell you keep on praying, just keep on, but I was taught to be quiet so I can see that I really was in an abusive marriage. And then the ancestors removed him, because this man again left again, packed all his clothes, left again right at payday, and but this time something was different, and the ancestors showed me that I really didn't have anything to hold on to. He was going to come back, yes. But to keep doing this, I done changed. I done, I'm doing the Grow program. He never wanted to hear about it. He told me, I don't want you to do the Grow program. I want you to leave it. I want you just leave it and come back. And, just be my wife. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to be here for, is to serve me and do for me. And matter of fact, he even called me slave. Come here, slave. It was really abusive, people, but you don't see it while you in it a lot of times. I had even stopped telling my family. I didn't tell my mother, my father, my cousin. I didn't tell anybody nothing. I just kept praying that it would change. I kept praying to Jesus. I did. But this is one thing that I did learn. I don't know how you feel about this, but this is how I feel. And I got to tell you how I feel. I did a lot of praying over the years, praying for my marriage, praying, and finally, the Lord held my tongue just long enough for me to realize, to see what I had, which was nothing. So what I want to tell you is, people, it's difficult. It's difficult, and I kept praying. I kept praying, but I want you to realize this. This is what I believe. Jesus forgave us. Jesus taught us forgiveness on the cross. Jesus said, forgive them. But I want you to realize this. Jesus did not have the power to save himself from death. Jesus didn't want to die. So I want to ask you, when you praying to Jesus, how is it that Jesus has the power to do for you? You've been knocking your head up against the wall all these years. You go to church on Sunday and the rest of the day, you just lost. But I'm here to tell you that there's a better way. Jesus forgave you. So now it's time to move on from that. You don't pray to Jesus. You pray to the ancestors who go to God on your behalf. Because see, what you do is you fix your heart, you fix your mind, and you stop doing people wrong. You stop oppressing yourself, or what are you doing? You taking drugs, you overindulging in the alcohol. The key is you don't let nothing have control of you. You are here to have control over everything because God gave you a great thing, your mind over anything. When you go to rehab, that's what they tell you in the end. It's all in your mind. So people, greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. Wisdom is through the mind. God bless you. Let's grow.